Hi, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and I want to welcome you to Living in Balance. We have a very special guest. As you know, we spent some time in Sedona, Arizona, and we didn't get to meet John, Sedona's Earthkeeper, while we were there. So he has come to Southwest Florida. He has come now to you, and we're so pleased to have him with us, Sedona's Earthkeeper. Come join us. When we were in Sedona, Arizona, I was told there was a man we absolutely had to interview, that you would just love him. He was very special, and he was one of the people of Sedona who really had made a difference, but he was on the road, and he is traveling quite a bit. So we have him with us today, and it's John Armbruster, and I'm so happy to have you with us. This is exciting. We have mutual friends, and everyone I know loves you.
That's sweet.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah.
The book that you have written is called An Earthkeeper's Manual.
Yeah.
And you also have a tape, The Heart of Many Voices.
Right.
And you are a geologist by trade and have been a farmer, but now you are an earthkeeper.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Same difference.
But I ask you if you'd explain, what is an earthkeeper, since you have that title?
Well, the Earthkeeper, there's a broad definition for that. You know, anybody who works with the health of the earth, that would be ecologists, environmentalists, people who study the earth, people who connect with the earth in any way, even people who recycle, who do that from a kind of heartfelt desire to pass a clean planet.
Then I'm an earthkeeper, right?
Of course you are. Then there's a narrower definition, which are people who actually work on a spiritual level with the earth. And those people tend to do things like feng shui is one way of talking about it. They do ceremonial practices which help enliven the earth, stimulate the earth. You see, because in the Earthkeeper tradition, in the narrow tradition, the earth is alive. And that's not a poetic statement. It's not, and it's not a Gaia theory.
Oh, okay.
And it's not a scientific living being, it's a spiritual living being as well. And so when you talk about the earth being alive, it has a consciousness which we can measure, which we can sense its response to our activities and our prayers. And so the Earthkeeper is working with the earth on that level.
Okay, and you are Sedona's Earthkeeper.
Well,
wow, that is awesome.
That's a great place to be an Earthkeeper.
Well, we
yeah.
have a clip of Sedona and the beautiful, beautiful region, and you have chosen that to be home, is that?
That's home. It chose me.
Oh, see on the monitor?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's beautiful. Friend Mountain.
Yes.
And
And so as it has chosen you to be its Earthkeeper, and you do things special for Sedona?
Yeah, I work with the vortexes there and the ley lines. I do feng shui, of course, everywhere around the planet. But I work especially with the sacred sites there in Sedona. And there are many, many, many sites. The thing that distinguishes Sedona from so many places around the planet, because there's vortexes up and down the east coast of Florida, the west coast of Florida. We find them all the time. It's just that in Sedona, the concentration is so high, and the vibrational frequency of that area is very stimulating.
Oh, it's so intense. It is incredible. I thought it had a lot maybe to do with the red, the visual. The red rocks are just so stimulating.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's also the red and the green, and you've got the white. You know, there's a lot of colors going on there, and the rock formations are very pronounced.
Yes.
So you get a different feel for that area. We call it Karma Town, but you know, it's you get a very strong cleansing energy there. And let's say you go to North Carolina, where the rolling green, the rich, rich lushness of the trees alters that energy, and it becomes more of a nurturing, supportive energy.
Oh yes, it's tranquil. Yes, it is. It brings you into peace and into a balance in a different way. That's true.
So each place on the planet has its own energetic function, and people go to different places because you know, they need different kinds of healings or different kinds of experiences, just like we choose different kinds of friends.
Another one of the things that you work with is dowsing, and I wanted you to define that as an earthkeeper, from an earthkeeper's perspective.
Well, a dowsing, most people will know of dowsing from water dowsing.
Yes.
Almost invariably you'll hear a story about, oh, yeah, well, I saw my grandpa go out and douse, or, you know, we hired this old man to come over and he found a well that nobody else could find, and things like that. But those are specialized applications of dowsing. And in fact, they're measuring the energy of the earth just like the feng shui master does, except that they're filtering out anything but water. So when we dowse from an earthkeeper's perspective, we're dowsing all kinds of energy. And we're not so interested in what's causing it as to how to organize it, arrange it, work with it. And you don't organize it in a sense you order it around, but you can modify it and work with it through prayer and through different ways.
Well, you know what I find to be so fascinating now is so many people of science and spirituality are working together, that it has come together. You are a scientist who approaches the earth. I thought you were going to talk about the Gaia theory, which is, of course, the scientist's approach to it.
Right.
But instead, you're looking at the earth from a spiritual perspective.
Well, I think scientists are realizing that science doesn't fulfill all the needs of humans.
Yes.
And we're also realizing that there is a science of spirit. And we call it metaphysics, you know, and we say it's metaphysics, which means beyond physics. But in fact, when you measure the energy of consciousness, which you can do through the aura, you find that metaphysics is actually just good engineering principles. That's all they are.
I love that. That's a great quote. Now, one of the things that you do with energy, and I've asked you if you would share some of your talents with us today. I know you help people make drums. You're going to do a drumming for us that you said you wanted to do what is a calling. Tell me about the Earthkeeper, the drummer, and what you're going to do for us.
Well, the drumming basically stimulates the earth's energy. It alters the environment around the drum in such a way as you might, the way I talk about it is, it's like putting up the tent. You know, it's like putting up the tent or creating a dome of energy. And that sets a tone for everything else that happens in the ceremony. And the calling song is so important because it honors the spiritual powers of the place, whether it be inside of a building or the trees around you, whatever, because there are always energies around you.
As the shaman set the mesa from the South American perspective, you did the calling for this particular energy that we're in. Wonderful. Well, let's watch what you have done.
Okay. Chanupele tonga shilo wasache
the first instrument in every culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to the beat of the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Whew. So after you have done that, then you're ready. You have set the stage. No matter where you are, you have
Right.
changed the energies.
Right.
And that was the purpose, really, of
Right.
the drumming.
When you bring the altar out, you always offer tobacco and sing a song.
Well, you have in front of us here, and you said, should I bring some of my things? I always carry an altar with me. And I said, absolutely. And there is an incredible array of items here. So many contributions from different animals. Tell us about what you have, and you call this your altar, and there is tobacco.
Okay, there's several different skins here. The caribou, which represents the long walk of spiritual path. The sure-footedness of the Rocky Mountain sheep. The bear, which is, that tenacious power to defend ourselves and to be who we are. We have the east and west represented, the west with the abalone, the east with the conch shell. We have the world, crystal
yes.
world, so remember. For the songs, to bless the throat, you wear those there. We have a fossilized whale's eardrum, which is about listening very, very well to the beat of the planet. So each thing has a kind of energy and teaching. So when somebody says, what's on the altar, you get a teaching as you start talking about it.
Yes. Well, one would learn a lot about John looking at his altar.
True. That's true.
Because each of these, and I'm sure, represent a part of your life and something you have done, an energy that you honor.
Yeah.
How long have you been, by the way, an Earthkeeper in this phase?
Well, in this phase, probably about 14 years. I've been traveling.
Yeah.
Before that, I was a geologist, and then before that, I was a farmer.
Well, you know what we're going to talk about when we come back, the traveling, the Sedona Sunpipe, the ceremonies that you do, the earth dance. There is lots about earth keeping. Big responsibility, John.
Yeah, it's fun.
So if you will stay tuned, we will be back, and we will learn more about the responsibilities of an earth keeper. If you are just joining us, we are looking at the beauty and the wonder of Sedona, because we do have with us today Sedona's Earthkeeper, John Armbruster, and it is just wonderful to have him here with us since we couldn't find you in Sedona. But the reason we couldn't is because you do travel, and you said up to 150,000 miles you have gone now with
I'm up to 185 now.
185, wow.
Yeah.
And you travel with and have the responsibility of Sedona's Sunpipe.
Right,
Okay.
right.
But you don't have that here to show us because you can't.
I can't take it out.
Tell us about that.
Well, the Sedona Sunpipe is a non-traditional sacred pipe that is carried in keeping with the Anishinaabe Seven Fires prophecy. And it's sent out to all the people, not as a way of converting or instructing, but to support each and every person in their own spiritual path. So when people gather, we honor those people, and that's why it's sent out to them, is to honor them, not for them to honor the pipe, but for the pipe to honor them. Sometimes people get that confused. And the pipe's there to encourage them that they need to walk their spiritual path so we all feel better about it. You know, sometimes people will do things for other people that they won't do for themselves. So we try to kind of use that a little bit and encourage them, well, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for us, because we miss you if you don't do it, you know. So the pipe's there to honor them and really try to help them see how valuable their spiritual path is.
But it's inappropriate for you just to share it unless you're going to actually use it.
You only
and
do it
ceremony.
in a ceremony. You only bring it out as a ceremonial practice, and it's like a tea ceremony. You know, there's certain things you do to have the pipe, and it's very simple. But
well, there's power in ritual, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. It focuses people's attention. The loading of the pipe has certain meaning. Putting the pipe together has a certain meaning. Each song that you sing with the different stages of the pipe has certain meaning. And that really works with people. Even if they're not indoctrinated or in any way understand exactly what you're doing, it's the power of the songs and the energy around the songs and the pipe itself that people feel.
Now, you mentioned it is part of the Seven Fires prophecy?
Yeah, the Seven Fires prophecy is a prophecy that the Anishinaabe people have, and we're in that seventh fire, just as we're in the end times of the Mayan prophecies and Mayan calendar and the Hopi prophecies and the Cherokee prophecies. And many of the prophecies are coming to a point where a new phase is beginning to happen. And the seventh fire represents the time when the elders will be reawakened by the new people. In other words, they will quiet down, or some of the traditions will be lost, some of the teachings will be lost, or not used regularly. But new people will come forward and recognize the value of those teachings and will awaken the elders to help them bring those out. And then they will adapt those to the new people's culture. And so this is why the pipe is sent out to the new people, which is the people who are sitting around the pipe. And people come to the ceremonies, and I tell them, you are the new people. You're sitting here with the trees around you, with the wind blowing, with the last ceremony we did, we were doing some whistling that you use in the ceremony, and the birds would whistle back at us,
Yes.
And and so I was saying, you're here, you're with the earth, it's calling to you, and you must have some kind of connection. It's not an accident that you're here.
Yes. Well, I asked you if drumming was the first instrument and the flute was possibly the second. And I asked you, you use the flute also in your ceremony,
Right.
and you will play a little bit of the flute. Now, there is such a gentleness to the flute where there was such power to the drum. So tell me about the use of the flute, and what will you play for us?
The flute is usually used to take the edge off of the energy.
Okay.
It softens the energy. It's more like, it's a very feminine kind of feel, very yin
I was
kind of
going to say
energy.
yin versus the yang.
Very
Sure.
supportive. Whereas the drum is definitely sets out boundaries, kind of sets up an energy, very yang energy. So,
So will you play a minute or two of the gentle yin
yeah, we'll see if
for us? Looks like a handmade flute.
it is. The man who made this is also the man who quarried the Sedona Sun Pipe and carried the prophecy, and he just passed on April 30th.
Oh, but his energy is still here.
He's still here.
Okay. Another aspect of your ceremonies. So you have the drum, you have the flute, and also the earth dance.
Oh, the earth dance, yeah. The dancing is so important because when we do the ceremonies, everybody's involved. We try to have everybody rattle or drum or sing. I tell people, we support all spiritual paths, including the Bible, and the Bible says make a joyful noise. It doesn't say sing in 4-part harmony, know all the beats and know all the songs, it just says make a joyful noise. And so the ceremonies are very much to facilitate people really being able to just express themselves in whatever.
Well, and it is participation, but it's
Absolutely.
physical, the body. You're totally then involved when you're
Right.
dancing.
And then when you dance, everything becomes so much different because then the music starts going through your body into the ground.
Yes.
And then the ground responds and the music comes back to you from the earth. And so it really does change you. A lot of people really do feel that energy coming up. Plus, when you dance with people, because a lot of the dances are coordinated, so like a circle dance, you dance facing each other and the circle rotates, you start sensing other people's energy. And the ceremony is not about bringing people together to meet each other. It's about helping each individual become aligned with the earth. And we can measure that with the dowsing rod. We can actually measure the frequency. And when you're in entrainment, you have a certain beat, and that's the same beat as the earth's energy at that place. But now you can see that if you have 10 people there and they're all in entrainment, they're also all beating together.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the trick, is that you don't try to get them all to, match each other's vibration. Just match the earth.
The earth.
And then you all match each other.
The
So it's a
Earthkeeper's
common ground.
perspective.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a common ground.
And you said 185,000 miles you have traveled. So you have traveled all across the United States and
Right.
beyond.
Well, not so much out of the country. I've been to Mexico. I've been over to Hawaii. Went to the death heiau there when my mother was passing and received a song
Oh,
that
yes.
I sang over her body.
Your website had a beautiful attribution to her, and
Yeah.
it was lovely, that she just had passed about a year ago.
Right.
So you honored that. And it is really so much of the Earthkeeper is about honoring, is it not?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It basically boils down to gratitude, which is honoring, acceptance, and forgiveness.
Yes.
That's the whole deal. We have 3 rules: move energy, balance energy, and synergize energy. And the 3 tools are gratitude, acceptance, and forgiveness.
I love that.
It's real simple.
Wow. Well, that tells your story, does it not,
That's it.
John? You are doing a fabulous job, and we're so pleased that you do that. And you will go anywhere
Anywhere, anytime. I try to get to anybody if they call for the pipe within a year. And sometimes I can get right to people if I'm in the area,
Yes.
and sometimes it's a little harder.
Well, we thank you and we bless you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
If you would like to be in touch with John and you would like to perhaps have the ceremony brought to you, and also we would love to hear from you. So if you'll stay tuned, we'll let you know how you can be in touch with both of us. John Armbruster is an Earthkeeper. That is his responsibility. He has found in order for him to live in balance in mind, body, spirit, he must serve, and his service is to the planet and to the people. It is always a delight to meet people who know what their purpose is and they are fulfilling it. Until next time, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.